When life throws you a curveball, how are you going to handle adversity? Welcome to the Fearless Mindset Podcast, where you're about to go on a journey as I interview security, business, and entertainment leaders on what it takes to stay fearless. I'm your host, Mark Ledlow, and enjoy today's episode.
I mean, most of the guys that I know, even like in the jiu-jitsu community that I hang out with sometimes, they're more into fashion and art, not typical alpha male, or the masculinity is kind of lacking.
Interesting. Did not know that.
Yeah, it's not. It's at least what I think masculine. Sure. It's strange. So I don't think it'll change much. I think if anything, if it would change, this would have been the catalyst to change, to spur it. But I don't think, because when I'm looking around, other than the big cities, no one's really making a big fuss about this. I took my son to track meet the other day. There was no moment of silence, other than like the vigils at the site in Nara and in Tokyo. You don't really see a lot of people here in the countryside didn't even know for a couple of days.
Wow.
I was really shocked about that. Just approaching people in the neighborhood and in the small towns and stuff like that. But even like in Kobe and Osaka, I was there recently. There wasn't much noise going on about it. Whereas if it was Obama or Bush, or the whole country would have been in mourning, or there would have been events, group gatherings and vigils all over the country. But I don't see it here, so I don't know. I've seen more like NASDAQ put his face on, in Times Square.
Right.
Here, I haven't seen an equivalent. I've seen larger tributes in other countries on TV than I've seen here. It's strange.
So do you think that people are just like, oh, well, move on? They're kind of over it?
Yeah, maybe that's a Japanese thing, but I don't know.
Maybe the world media news outlets are just like, okay, let's move on. Let's get another prime minister that might get along better with China. Maybe that's what they're thinking at. I don't know.
Yeah, could be. But,
could be anything.
It could be anything. I don't know.
I think the media makes a lot of stuff worse than what it really is.
Yeah. Those funerals later on today. It's Tuesday here. That's
okay.
Later today, but like I said, there was no moments of silence,
wow,
no big issues here. So I think it's like a small invite only ceremony. It's not nothing was scheduled, or I didn't see anything on the news about any kind of public thing. But
pretty wild. He's a real leader of Japan. He's how many years was he prime minister? Many years, right?
He was the longest running. I don't know exactly how long, but he was the longest running prime minister they've ever had. So
6 years in office, I thought. You'd think his security would have been a lot tighter than it was. I mean, or maybe take training from Secret Service, but it seemed like they're very soft and lackadaisical. Hopefully they learned some lessons. They just lost one of their best leaders they've ever had. Or, we think he's, from the Western world, we think he's a great leader, but maybe Japanese, they obviously voted him back in office many times. So they must have really respected and appreciated what he did for the country, and keeping it protected from China, because China is the biggest threat over there, right?
Yeah, China is the biggest threat. And it's, I don't know if it shows the weak underbelly. I don't know if China's kind of wringing their hands and like, wow,
sure.
the opportunity here.
Yeah, I'm thinking in my mind, like, well, China's probably salivating to make a move now that the prime minister is gone now. They got to find a replacement. So is China working, trying to get a spy agent in there to, get inside their parliament or however they do run government to maybe get in there and start making decisions? Anybody's guess, I guess.
Anyone's guess. But I know that this and, how we pulled out of Afghanistan just gives China more muscle, more motivation to flex, I guess, because they see the weaknesses and in this region now. And
sure.
I talked to a lot of local Japanese. I mean, especially about the pullout in Afghanistan. I was like, well, what would you do if America pulled out? I mean, what if we left Japan? I mean, what would you do? Like, you guys don't want to have military, but what are you going to do? I mean, you can't.
Mm-hmm.
The fact and art isn't going to stop.
Nope.
Guys from coming over here. I mean, this country will be just a staging point. It'll be a big brothel for like officers. Stop them. No one. There's no cult. There's no warrior culture here or interest in protecting the country. Yeah,
wow.
From what
that's wild.
And that's even, like I said, in the community that I associated with, the jiu-jitsu, I'm training local police sometimes, and they don't seem very interested in that topic at all. And especially like with the gun, because I'm in the process getting my hunting license. So we talk about like second amendment issues here and stuff like
sure.
that. And no one's really concerned about it. No one's really concerned about weapons or having weapons or no, or the threat of the possibility of like us leaving and what kind of vacuum, like who's going to protect the country? Not these guys with makeup and focused on fashion. That's not going to cut it. Like you're right. You have zero. If your head is just buried in the phone the whole time, and you could just look around at it. You're on the train or you're just walking around. People are more just so buried in their phones. They just have zero concern about stuff like that. And I'm not saying be hyper vigilant or paranoid about it, but it's a real threat. Your former prime minister just got taken out, and you have China, what they're doing in these islands and these territories. So what are you going to do?
Yeah, maybe they won't care when they see a fleet coming towards their islands in the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, nah. I mean,
you don't think so?
I don't. I mean, it'll be too late.
Way too late.
Like I said, all guys that are so focused on fashion and makeup and art, I mean, they'll have a nice ladyboy job at the bars, I guess. When you guys take over, it's pretty bad.
So it sounds like a very laid back, I don't care, I want to live in my bubble culture in Japan. Like you said, they're more concerned about their social media than Instagram and TikTok than they are about what's going on in the world. They just want to live in their bubble and don't want to worry about anything else. That's kind of how it is over there.
Yeah. And I just, I'm just really disappointed in the protective services because it's more of a peacocking thing. It's not.
Okay.
Like the detail, the complacency and all that. It's just, they're so, like sometimes, I don't know what your law enforcement background experience has been with like when people get in certain positions and they become like little gatekeepers and they don't want anyone to get in. They just want to have this prestigious role, and they keep everyone out of it. And they have no intention to fulfill that role. They have no like their expectations is just for status or promotion or whatever. They have no on like being king at the job or accepting the requirements of the job. Like you may have to put yourself in harm's way. You know, if you're going to take this role as an SP, a special police officer, or whatever, you're going to have a certain mental and physical fitness, and you're going to be expected to react when needed. And often I've seen here and in the States and abroad where it's just someone wants to get in that position and just kind of peacock around. You know, I'm in this position, you know, and that's why I see a lot of the OPSEC gets given away because they want to feel important. You know, they like you walk up to them and ask them questions, probing them, and they'll give you more information almost as if to display how important they are instead of just keeping the OPSEC and, you know, not just giving the information any inquiring citizen or grandma walking her dog. Like even my wife, same thing, for shits and giggles, you know, so she'd ride her bike to work and, you know, when Putin was in town and she was able to get the exact times that his motorcade was going to come through or stuff like that.
Wow.
It's silly. So
that's scary.
You know, and I've seen it, like, because when I've been on details in the States, and like I mentioned before, some of these guys get in there, you know, get in those positions, and they're not qualified, or they have no desire to put themselves in harm's way, but they have a desire to be seen. They have a desire to be in those positions and to like suck that energy or just be in that moment, I guess. I don't know. But those are the most dangerous people on the department. You know, I don't know. A lot of times the 90% rules in a place, in a lot of places I've been, a lot of places I've worked, including the fire department, the police department, and some, you know, sometimes contracting, you know, the 90% rules, like where 90% of the guys are just got their hands out waiting for payday. You know, the other 10% are keeping it from falling apart. True.
Yeah, it sounds like they need your consulting services over there in Japan to get them wired tight.
Well, it sounds they're going to have a lot of people doing that, and a lot of people coming over here selling snake oil to get them back in the game or show them how, whatever. But the thing about Japan is, I've actually had problems trying to like teach combatives to the local police. A lot of these guys come on their own because they're so Japan as a whole, but especially when it comes to the government, has this immune system. They have this aversion to ideas, and it's like an immune system that attacks viruses. You know, when you come in with this new idea, they just attack it. It's not native. It's not Japanese. You don't like it. Or it's just a new idea. You know, it's a new idea. We've been doing it this way forever. They attack it. So I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully they learn. Hopefully it'll get better. But,
who do you think's in line for the next prime minister? Do you think they have somebody picked out already?
Nah, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't really spoken to many people about it, but I don't know if You can't go based on the news, man.
No, you can't. That's obvious. The news we get here in the West, in the States, from what you guys are hearing on the ground, is totally two different worlds.
Yeah, I mean, it's Japan is always used as an example when it comes to like longevity and health and peacefulness and wealth as well. But living, I tell you, man, that's pulling back the curtains. You see how it is. I mean, there's no perfect place on this planet. There's no utopia, but I can tell you that this is no Blade Runner, space age, advanced society. It's in my opinion, it's 50 to 100 years behind the West in a lot of things. There's still, I mean, a lot of these homes don't have flushing toilets. I mean, when I renovated my house, I had to put in the flushing toilet.
Wow.
I mean, and the poverty level here is pretty high. I mean, the average salary is around the 20s, 20,000 something. I mean, it's only in the big people are making the big bucks. That's why everyone kind of leaves the countryside and goes. And then Tokyo's so, like with 20 million people or whatever, or over 20 million. Wow. Big cities are, and even there, I mean, just having some neon signs doesn't make it an advanced society. You gotta have what it takes. They're still using faxes for a lot of things. I mean,
wow.
It's not that advanced. I mean, it doesn't justify the advance, the credit that it gets in a lot of areas, especially with longevity. I mean, you can survive long. I mean, there are a lot of old people here, but the quality of life of these old people isn't comparable. If you can live long, I mean, that's just existing. A lot of these people are all humped over, their spines are like Cheetos, just bent over. I mean, if you can just sit in the chair and exist for 100 and something years, that's not a quality of life, in my opinion. And and they need to stop using this country as an example. If you have the genetics to survive past, up to 100 and something, that doesn't, I wouldn't tout that. I wouldn't, brag about that. You have to be able to still move around.
There's some old people over there. What's the oldest age person you heard of in Japan? I've heard like in the hundreds.
Yeah, it's in the hundreds, but I don't know.
Yeah,
like the village I live in right now. I mean, there's no one under 50. I'd say like maybe 65. I don't think there's anyone under 65.
Wow.
I used to live in Tokyo, and then I moved to the countryside, just more relaxed. But
how far is the countryside from Tokyo? A few hours?
Well, I live on Shikoku Island, and it's like a hour and 45-minute flight to Tokyo from here.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's like 6-hour drive. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, Japan is maybe like 70-80% mountains.
Oh, yeah. So it's big.
Most people focus, on these big cities. I mean, but I love it here. I mean, I'm not saying all these things to bash Japan. I mean,
sure.
My home is where the immediate area I occupy. So, I make, but I still think U.S. is the best place, hands down, to live. I've been all over. I'm
surprised you have Wi-Fi out there.
Oh man, we got 5G. It's the mountains, but there's towers everywhere.
Oh, really? So, wow.
Yeah.
You live in the country and have your own little cabin up there and be happy.
Yeah. Yeah. You can unplug, but you can still be attached way.
Nice. Wow. What a trip.
Yeah. Right now I guess I'm the that old saying, the warrior in the garden thing.
Yeah, that's what you're doing.
Yeah, it's better to be a warrior in the garden than the gardener in a war. But that's what I am now. Time to time, I'll go out and I'll do some gigs in Tokyo or Hong Kong or Indonesia or whatever. But for the most part, yeah, I'm taking my kids to track practice, soccer practice, and working on the farm a little bit and helping my wife with her business.
There you go.
Yeah, it's very relaxing here.
I can tell.
Yeah.
You get the vegetation, you get the mountains behind you, you get a wall behind you. You're in the country. You're working on your samurai qualifications as you speak, your ninja qualifications.
When I was refurbing the house, we found a samurai sword.
Nice.
Hidden in the wall. Like there's a small house attached on the property that's like over 150 years old. And I guess during the war, they hid a lot of their weapons and valuable metals because everyone was going around collecting metal to make whatever bombs.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but we found a little katana. It's nice. So
crazy.
Yeah. But
get a little culture and hearing about your background, a little carving in the hills, raising some vegetables and away 6 hours away from Tokyo and away from the craziness.
Yeah, definitely.
Give you a peace of mind.
Nice river runs through. Best whitewater rafting in the world, I heard. I don't know.
Wow.
But yeah, got a nice citrus orchard. And my son's, the place we live, my wife, she has a lot of land here. And her granddad built some shrine up like in walking distance from here. So it's nice having some attachment to the community because if you, a lot of times when you're an expat, you try to move in these areas, they don't allow you to buy homes, allow you to participate in a lot of things.
Makes sense.
Yeah. For some reason, they won't let me on the volunteer fire department. It's like I was a firefighter in Arlington, Virginia for like 12 years. I was a 9/11, man. I was like you don't want me on your fire department.
Culture.
It's a culture, and they don't want to be outshined. You can't outshine the master. So,
wow,
yeah, very strange.
That's wild.
Yeah,
like you said, it's the way they think out there. It's their culture.
Yeah,
it's like taking away McDonald's away from Americans. They would just have a fit.
Yeah. Well, the fast food here is a lot better.
I bet
McDonald's better.
I bet it is. Well, folks, we'll wrap this episode up with Carlo. And now you know what's going on in Japan and the Prime Minister. And thanks for tuning in. And we'll catch you next time on the podcast. And we'll thank Carlo for being here and joining us. Any parting words, Carlo?
Not much. I just hope that they learn their lesson from this, and hopefully things will change for the better. And I'm willing to assist in any way if they want to come ask for any advice.
There you go. Carlos Blackwater, E&T firefighter and Blackwater. So he's got some experience. So if you guys need any help, you know where to find him on LinkedIn. We'll be posting them on my LinkedIn platform, and I'll be tagging them. And thanks for joining, folks. And we'll catch you on the next episode of The Fearless Mindset.